questions.
Thanks for doing this hearing, and gentlemen, thanks for your testimony as we walk through this. It's time we continue the conversation with you. USCIS still uses paper for a lot of the immigration processing. So tell me the status of where we're moving right now. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are changing along the border and trying to be able to do data systems there. USCIS seems to be lagging in some of that. Where are we?
There we go. Senator, thank you. I actually believe USCIS is now a success story in their digitization journey. The first project that I was assigned to work on when I joined the U.S. Digital Service was USCIS's transformation program that was seeking to digitize their nearly 7 million immigration benefits applications every year. When we started that effort, they were characteristic of the old Big Bang approach, a single vendor with proprietary technology that had been working for years and only modernized or digitized a handful of forms, and processing of those digital forms ended up being slower than paper. We worked with USCIS to restructure the program, implement agile development, move to the cloud, and implement human-centered design practices to ensure that today a significant majority of USCIS's benefits applications are processed digitally, and they are using those capabilities to reduce their backlogs and improve their efficiency.
So USCIS and ICE and CBP, their systems don't necessarily all talk to each other in moments that they need to be able to talk to each other. Do you know of an area between the three of them as they're trying to be able to be more interoperable in their systems and their data links, where you don't have to actually contact somebody else to be able to get that information? They can actually pull it as they need to.
Yes. Senator, historically that has been correct, and that's been something that we've worked very hard to address over the last several years. Through our Southwest Border Technology Integration Program, we've been working to digitize the processes for non-citizens encountered at the border to include issuing notices to appear digitally, as well as handing off information between agencies. One example there is ICE's new case acceptance system, which allows CBP to refer a case to ICE for custody digitally rather than waiting hours for ICE to come pick up a paper file and make a custody determination. This has saved millions of hours in transfer time, moving people through our process more efficiently.
Yeah, it has been helpful. What's been interesting is there's still a couple of moments there where they're still having to contact each other, and we can talk offline about some of those. I'm sure your team is already making contact with you about it. I was in Arizona actually last week, and as I'm regularly down there from my responsibilities from this committee actually, and in that dialogue, it was interesting to be able to hear several folks say this system, the technology piece of it, is so much better than what it used to be. And I could see that and see the processing and the speed of that, where you've actually got people trying to input the data and to be able to get them out. The challenge now is that we have more and more people that are data input folks at the border, and that's always the challenge, is the human piece now. And I'll have a different set of questions for DHS on who should be the person actually entering all that data. Right now, it's a person with a badge and a gun is also the person that's all, sitting there entering all the data. That's maybe not best use of their time to be able to do that, but that has been a real help. But finding other ways that we can connect. It was interesting as well, just on a vulnerability issue, how many areas of the border still we don't have cell coverage and are very, very remote. And you've got folks that are out there with a portable device trying to be able to connect in, and obviously there is no connection. That's a larger issue to be solved. Or that when you're along the border and you get to a border patrol station, immediately you open your phone and it says, "Welcome to Mexico." When I'm 50 feet from Mexico and you suddenly realize all the information that I'm processing is processing through a cell tower on the Mexican side, not on the American side. There's some clear vulnerabilities that are there. How are we handling some of those vulnerabilities with our data?
Well, Senator, thank you. I've had that exact same experience during my trips down to the border. We are working to expand connectivity and infrastructure along the border. It is challenging given the geography. Some of the areas we're looking at include CBP's use of mesh networking kits that can extend the coverage of their devices, as well as satellite connectivity, and in other cases, looking at partnerships with other federal agencies as well as state agencies that have land rights along the border, including in parks, that we need to look at to put up more cell towers and expand coverage. So we still have work to do there, but it's something we're looking at very closely.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thanks for the progress. progress on that, but we still obviously have a little bit of progress to go on it, but it is nice to be able to see the work that's going. I also appreciate the off-the-shelf focus to say if there is some technology that already exists to do this, then let's invest our dollars in other areas and other technologies, I think is where you're trying to be able to get at as well, to say that we don't have to create this ourselves. When I'm along the border, and last week when I was there along the border, many of the agents that were there, both at the ports of entry and between the ports of entry, their first comment was, a lot of the folks that are coming are non-Spanish speakers. They had 1,000 people from Mauritania that came in the last 2 weeks that are adult males from Mauritania that are coming in large numbers, Russians that are coming in large numbers, Pakistanis, Middle Eastern men that are coming in that we have no criminal records for at all and have no background information, but we also have no translator that's there. And I said, okay, how's that going? And they all said, everyone shows up with their phone and with Google Translate on, and we stand there and Google Translate communicate back and forth to each other. I'm sure there's been a push with DHS saying we need to develop our own system to be able to do this. But currently the Google Translate is working and everyone seems to be fine with it and allows us to be able to use monies in other areas that are really must need, develop new software technologies. So in places that we can do that, we've got a lot of catching up to do. I continue to encourage you and your team to use off-the-shelf tested software and technologies where we can, to be able to make sure that we're investing dollars trying to get us completely caught up with we're not paper-based in other areas. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all, thank you. Thanks for all the work.